Welcome back. Well, outrage is growing and at least 2 investigations are underway after a data firm with ties to Donald Trump's presidential campaign got its hands on the private information of 50 million Facebook users. Well, the European Parliament has announced the launch of its investigation into how Cambridge Analytica was able to access that personal data. Well, the UK is also investigating the use of Facebook's data. And one American professor is now suing the company to see what information they gathered on him.
Nobody consented to a company gathering all of our data and reattaching it to our voter profile. So one of my main causes here is to figure out, can we even opt out of this?
And so far, what are you finding?
It's going to take a lawsuit to opt out of Cambridge Analytica. It shouldn't be that way.
So our CNN correspondent Drew Griffin joins me now with brand new information about one of the men at the centre of this breach. And this, of course, Drew, was a simple sort of Facebook personality test. You'd think it was a harmless activity, but certainly not. Much more than that.
It wasn't harmless, and I think people are shocked at what happened and how much information they just simply gave away. The data scientist who gathered this information on millions of Americans for Cambridge Analytica says he's willing now to testify before Congress and speak to the FBI about the work he did for the company that worked for the Donald Trump presidential election campaign. His name is Alexander Kogan, and the information comes from his own email obtained by CNN's Donny O'Sullivan, sent to his fellow colleagues at Cambridge University. Kogan's company provided data on millions of Americans to Cambridge Analytica beginning in 2014. That data gathered through a personality test Facebook application that he built. When Facebook users took the test, they gave Kogan access to all of their data and even some of their friends' data. In the email obtained by CNN, Kogan said he provided predicted personality scores on 30 million Americans to Cambridge Analytica's parent company. During the campaign, of course, Donald Trump's election team used Facebook almost exclusively to target messages and voters, presumably using that personal data of Facebook users. The news has Facebook trying to defend itself against accusations it violated the privacy of millions of its users by allowing these data harvesting to go on.
Absolutely incredible. And these revelations, of course, have sent Facebook shares plunging. But talk to us a bit more about Kogan, because he sent this email. Facebook is saying that they didn't allow this to happen or didn't, approve this. What is Kogan saying? Did he address that?
Facebook is definitely trying to make Kogan the bad guy, but Kogan is fighting back. He says Facebook knew what he was doing, didn't challenge him on any of it. In the email, he says, we never claimed during the project that it was for academic research. In fact, he says, we did our absolute best not to have the project have any entanglements with the university. He's speaking of Cambridge University. In fact, Kogan writes that when he updated the app and its terms and conditions on Facebook, it clearly stated users were granting Kogan the right to sell and license the data. Facebook at no point raised any concerns at all about any of these changes, he says. On Friday, Facebook suspended both Kogan and Cambridge Analytica from its platform. The news also rekindling possible links to Russia, with Kogan writing to his colleagues, I've been asked quite seriously by reporters from the New York Times and The Guardian if I am a Russian spy. I really tried to explain that one seems just silly. If I am a Russian spy, he says, I am the world's dumbest spy. Kogan was born in the Soviet Union, moved to the States as a child. The British newspaper The Observer reported this weekend Kogan had received funding from a university in St. Petersburg, Russia, for research, Lynda, that also involved social networks.
It's a complicated web, a lot to cover there. Thanks for unpacking it, Drew.
Thanks, Lynda.
Appreciate it. Drew Griffin there.